Good afternoon. It is December 3rd, 2025, and it is a Wednesday, third day of the week. Um, Here in Sherbrooke, it is currently -7 degrees Celsius, 19 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it shows I haven't done this in a while. Um, Although I did record a weather report a couple days ago, but I just didn't post it. It was very long, and I spent most of my time talking about a movie I hadn't even finished watching. The sun this morning rose at 7:09 a.m. It's going to set at 4:05 p.m., so in like an hour, which I find really unpleasant and difficult to deal with psychologically. That is 8 hours and 56 minutes of sunlight today. Today, sorry, just looking out the window. Today, I have work that I want to get done, and I feel not just feel, but like I find myself to be completely just like incapable of getting started. And I think I might have ADHD. I was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome when I was a child, and I was I think I want to talk about this, but I had this drug counselor who studied ADHD, or like the specialty in like ADHD with some of our education. And she was talking about how like neurologically Tourette syndrome and ADHD are quite similar in like which areas of the brain are affected. I don't know which areas those are. I should probably look it up. I think it's like the frontal cortex, prefrontal cortex. Those are parts of the brain, but I don't know if they're the correct ones. And so there can be some like overlap in the symptoms. And then I was also thinking about how there, I don't know, I read this comment on Reddit this morning, so must be taken with a grain of salt, but about how it can be difficult to get diagnosed with some things, because there is like a lot of like debate in like psychiatry and psychology, and how you'll like meet one psychiatrist and get diagnosed with ADHD, and then another psychiatrist will diagnose with autism, and then also how like I know people. I mean, I'm definitely very far away from being a psychiatrist, but I know people who have been diagnosed with ADHD that I'm convinced have autism. And I don't think I have autism, but I think I might have ADHD, because also talking to my friends who have ADHD, I definitely can relate to a lot of stuff. And especially it's like getting started on tasks, especially tasks that I don't want to do. I mean, this is exacerbated by the fact that I'm also afraid of failure. So what I'll do is much of avoidance, because I'm so afraid of failing at the task that I'll end up doing it last minute and not doing it as well as I could. It's what's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so today, it is some lighting design. On Friday, I'm doing this event that I do regularly and have for the past couple years. But now it's in a new theater in town, and I've done the past couple ones, and it's just very stressful. And then now on top of that, there is a dancer who did a residency, and then she's presenting the piece that she created during the residency. But the problem is that like I don't have access to the space before the day of the show, and right now I'm just trying to start like I need to design the lighting plot and then just start programming. And so like the steps. Oh, and by the way, I shaved my head since the last video, because I was tired of having long hair, especially the maintenance, and I just found myself like not maintaining it, and so it just was getting tangled and did not look very nice. Just getting all tangled in the back, and so I was thinking about that. But then there's that movie Begonia, the latest Yorgos Lanthimos film, which is really good. I highly recommend it. Very funny. Yeah, so Emma Stone shaved her head for the role, and I thought it would be funny to shave my head and then go see the movie, and just say that I was doing it in solidarity with Emma Stone. But it feels really good. I might just want to do it again, because now it's getting a bit longer, but there's like feeling of a freshly shaved head is something I quite enjoy and hadn't done in a while. And because I get this sort of like awkward period, like I think I look good with a shaved head, then there's like an awkward period until my hair gets longer that I think I just don't look good, and I look unattractive, although I'm not trying to attract anyone. At least at this point in my life, I still become self-conscious, and it hurts my ego to feel unattractive. And so I had a meeting with the dancer, and I took notes based on a video she had recorded. And so I need to transcribe, and I told her I was going to transcribe, I was going to take the notes and clean them up and send them to her last week, which I didn't do. And the show's in a couple days. I need to clean those up, and then from that, do the lighting plot, which is just like taking like a plan of the space, and so just doing a drawing of where the lighting fixtures are going to go using dedicated software for that, and then because I have access to the software, I don't know why I'm explaining this. I think it's just like to try to psych myself up to do it. But then I'm also going to like have dinner at my friend's place tonight. And so I was like, oh, well, I have all day to do this, but it's 3:15, and I've done almost out of it. Like I've turned on my computer, I downloaded the software. It sort of like emulates the lighting console, so we can at least like start making cues, and then like I can just, I want to go to the theater tomorrow because I won't have access to the actual space, but I'll have access to the lighting console, and I can just grab some fixtures, plug them in, and like sort of test stuff out. But I just can't get myself to do it. And all the tools are here. Everything's right here. I just can't get myself to do it. I'm just procrastinating. I think I probably should have just gone today, but I didn't. Also, earlier today, I almost shit my pants, because I had diarrhea, and sometimes when I have diarrhea, it's like it's happening now, and my roommate was taking a shower. And so I got very, very close to shitting my pants. I almost cried because I was so close to shitting my pants. Despite the fact that the bathroom is just there. There's just like, we had a closet and then just like a fairly thin wall separating my room from the bathroom. And I'm really glad I didn't, because that's really made my day really bad. Shitting yourself at home is, in some ways more convenient and like much less embarrassing, but also in ways sadder. So I just want to get something done. I didn't get much done yesterday, except a couple of things. I fixed the band on my watch, which had been broken for months now. But I'd ordered a replacement band that was cheap, but it didn't fit. And so then I ordered like an official Casio one. But I didn't have the tool for the spring bars. And I get discouraged easily in life. And so I got discouraged when I tried, and I decided yesterday that I was just going to do it. And it took me like an hour, because I was doing it with a pair of tweezers. And just on one of the sides, it just wouldn't, like, bar just wouldn't go in. But I managed to do it. I gave up a couple times, actually. But I managed to get it done. And then I was getting frustrated with Hollow Knight Silk Song. I don't want to give much context. I don't want to spoil anything for everybody. But the flea juggle was something that I just needed to get done so that I could finish this quest. And I was not having fun. And I found it just to be very tedious. I just have to try again and again and again, and I finally got it done. But then I ended up playing Silk Song for another couple hours because I could actually like go and do stuff, rather than at least starting this project that is due in a couple days. And I don't know why it's so difficult, and like why I don't want to do it like to this deep level, you know? But yeah, I think it's just fear of failure. And I don't think I find that fun. Although, I mean, like, I could. That's the thing, is like, I could. Because, you know, it's like... But I think it's also just because, like, there's no, like, objectively good way of doing it. You know what I mean? It's... I mean, it's up to me. It's up to me to make decisions. It's up to me to determine the best way I think I can do it, but I lack self-confidence, and I'm just second-guessing everything all the time, and it just makes it very, very difficult. It just... Every step seems like it comes with, like, more and more impediments, you know? Although that's not necessarily true. On Monday, I went to the adult school and gave them a copy of my GED, which they asked me for a month ago. But I finally did it, and the person at the admissions office said that she thinks it's probably going to be sufficient. By the way, because I signed up for the electricity course, but it only starts in 2027. And even then, there's no guarantee I'm going to get in. I'm especially worried about, like, the math prerequisites, since the last, like, math that I completed was, like, algebra in high school. But even then, like, I don't remember anything, really, in algebra. And, like, looking at the adult school's website, there was some calculus in the... they just had a little PDF of, like, this is, like, the types of math questions we're going to ask you. And then I was thinking about something yesterday. Because I've been listening to Kavi Zahedi's podcast, 365 Stories I Want to Tell You Before We Both Die. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, 365 Stories I Want to Tell You Before You Both Die. By the way, did I say it was negative 7 degrees Celsius, 19 degrees Fahrenheit? I think so. An amazing podcast. And I think I'm going to put a link in the description to somewhere you can pay for it. You can still get it for free, but you can pay like $3.65, and it's got 365 episodes of varying lengths, between like a minute and like 10 minutes. There's a lot of stuff there. And this was back in 2021 or 2022, I don't remember. Kavi Zahedi had an artist that I really appreciate, definitely a polarizing artist, mainly a filmmaker. But so we had this podcast where every single day he would tell a story from his life, and it's amazing. It's he's had a fascinating life. Some of the stories are very funny, some are profound, some are sad. It's just really, really, really good. And he was talking about a filmmaker. Oh yeah, he was talking about going to film school. And when he started his first year of film school, they were showing the like sort of the best films from the students of the previous year. And there was this one film that I thought was great, and everybody was talking about. and the filmmaker was like very handsome and very popular, and Cave was felt jealous. And so over the years, we sort of like kept in touch with the filmmaker, and the filmmaker made a couple of feature films, which Cave didn't think were very good. And he just sort of lost touch. And then he looked him up later and saw that he had quit filmmaking and become a therapist. And then he died. And Kaveh says something like, ultimately, maybe he won. That he quit filmmaking and actually did something that was like directly helping people. Not that film can't directly help people, but I thought that was like an interesting reflection, especially coming from somebody who is in 60s now and he's still a filmmaker. And I mean, I know a lot about his personal life because he just caused that. The major part of his work is his personal life. So I was thinking, I went to the Dep to buy myself beer last night, and it was cold outside. When I got back, or maybe no, maybe this was a couple days ago, maybe not yesterday. Anyway, I was taking my boots off, and I was like, maybe morally it would be better if I went to school for heating rather than electricity. Because, okay, so I think the thing that I find the most beautiful about winter, because I don't like winter generally, because it's cold and I don't like the cold. And I don't have a car, so just getting around is more difficult. But the thing that I find the most beautiful about winter is that it sort of gives people similar priorities, at least like the main priorities, even though we might not think about it, because essentially everything revolves around not being too cold. I guess around staying warm enough to survive, And given that we have this same priority, I really think it brings us together. And this is definitely anecdotal, but I remember one time I was hiking with a friend of mine I haven't spoken to in several years. And we were in San Diego. And we became friends in San Diego. And he grew up in San Diego. And we were hiking. It was such a beautiful day. I don't remember how the subject came up, but he was talking about we were talking about how people were assholes in San Diego. And my friend said, maybe people are assholes here because it's just nice out all the time. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you can just leave, leave the house and it's just paradise and it's beautiful. Oh, and by the way, he had lived in another state as well, farther up north. So he knew more what actual seasons were like. Ow. And so you don't need to be nice to other people. He's just beautiful outside all the time. I don't know if that makes sense, but it really struck me. And I think there's something to that. It's probably not that simple, but there's something to that. I'm thinking of course, although for heating now in 2025, you need electricity. And electricity is necessary anyway, unless you want to live a very specific lifestyle. But maybe even more directly, I don't know if this makes sense. It's more direct, specifically heating. And maybe that's the most noble thing that I can do. And then the the course at the adult school is plumbing and heating. And it's like, what's more fundamental than that to provide to people to be able to survive, like access to water and access to heat, especially in the winter. And the course starts earlier, like next summer, and it's half the price. And I think it's not as long. And I think I'm going to talk to my friend who signed up for the electrician course as well. Maybe we could do this instead. I don't know. Today I'm thinking about the song Designer by Aldous Harding from the album Designer by Aldous Harding. Because today I am hopefully going to be a lighting designer. This album's great. This song is great. I would really like Aldous Harding to put out another album. It's been a few years since her latest one, Warm Chris, came out. I love this album so much. I highly recommend you listen to it. My favorite song on the album is probably Weight of the Planets, which I think I've talked about before. The Barrel is also a really beautiful song. The whole thing's great. But this song, the title track, Designer, I don't know what the lyrics mean at all, but I love the arrangement. As always, very simple arrangements, but like every note is in its right place. It's great. And check out some live performances from around this time as well. Very inspirational to me. The first time I saw Aldous Harding, it just sort of changed my life as a performer when I saw how she would like look into everybody's eyes, like gaze into everybody's eyes really intently. I started doing that around that time, inspired by her. And then also when I'm not performing my own music, her keyboard player, whose name I don't know, is really good, and like I was just blown away with the fact that during some songs she would just like sit with her eyes closed because she had nothing to play, and so like instead of like making up parts to play, she just wouldn't play anything. And then when it came the time to play, she would play her part and then she would stop. And I love that, and I wish more people wanted to do that, because I always feel bad when I want to ask musicians to perform songs, but there's no parts for them except this one particular part. And just ask them, like, yeah, can you just like sit there on the stage and do nothing until this part? I find it funny to have musicians on stage doing nothing, but that's not as fun for a lot of people. But I enjoy that. I don't mind just like waiting. Anyway, I'm gonna get on with my life. Later today, it is gonna get warmer for some odd reason. After the sun goes down, gonna go up to just a few degrees, but -6 degrees Celsius, 22 degrees Fahrenheit, a little bit cloudy. That's after the sun is set. It's steadily going to go up to -3 degrees Celsius, 26 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not bad. That'll be good when I'm walking to and from my friend's place I have not seen for several weeks, and I'm really excited to see them and see their baby. Okay, it's been gray and cloudy all day. It's going to remain gray and cloudy for the rest of the day, although it'll be dark, so I won't see it. But I hope wherever you are, you'll at least see little snippets, little patches of beautiful blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way. Everyone, have a great rest of your day.